My name's Scott James. I'm going to be representing 100.3 the Q again this year in the West Coast Motorcycle Ride to Live. Glad to do so. It's always a lot of fun. I'm very fond of motorcycle riding. I'm also kind of fond of my prostate because you never know when you might need it. So that's why I'm here again. The purpose of this ride, of course, is to raise as much money as we possibly can to help in the fight against prostate cancer. And in case you didn't know, that kind of cancer is the #1 threat, the #1 cancer threat to men and their families. So we're out to do all we can to fix that. And we have a few friends here today who are going to tell you more about what the ride is all about, and what it stands for, and what it accomplishes. So first, we're going to hear from Mr. Luc Beauvais, our good friend. He's the past executive director of the Vancouver Island Motorcycle Ride to Live, also a member of the Pacific Coast Blue Knights Law Enforcement Motorcycle Club, and a member of the Central Saanich Police Service. So please be on your best behavior, Mr. Luc Beauvais.
Thanks, Scott. Reminds us of the 2010 ride in the rain. I think it's important we talked about the main reason of the fundraising, and the main reason for this fundraising is to save BC men from prostate cancer. And that was our goal since the beginning. On June 3rd, the West Coast Motorcycle Ride to Live will have its 3rd annual fundraising on Vancouver Island, raising funds to help fight prostate cancer on the island and also the Gulf Islands. Our volunteer executive committee, including the Prostate Center here in Victoria, and with the help of our friends from Scotiabank, we're asking our community riders to join us for a full day of motorcycle riding on June 3rd for a full family poker run ride around the South Island. You could pre-register on June 2nd in the parking lot of Czech News. You could also register the morning of at Steve Drain's anytime after 7:30 before 10 o'clock. But best is to register online at viridetolive.ca. So ridetolive.ca is our website. The poker ride will start at 10 a.m. at Steve Drain's Harley Davidson in Langford and finish at the Mary Winspear in Sydney. Again, with a big barbecue for everybody to enjoy, music from the 100.3 The Q, and our special guest rider, and many prizes. Since the beginning of the Vancouver Island West Coast Ride to Live, we raised $180,000 with the help of many riders, passengers, and over 200 volunteers and many sponsors. The Ride to Live will continue to fund our local prostate center right here in Victoria, with the funds going to education. $26,000 will help the prostate center from our 2011 fundraising. Again, the Ride to Live will help support the Men's Health Day, in which 600 men get tested every year. The Ride to Live team gave another $43,000 for research funds to the University of Victoria, right here at UVic. That would be nearly $86,000 in the last 2 rides that we've completed. That's amazing. Thank you. Many of us have been touched by cancer. Cancer has touched my family personally with the loss of my father. My father was a great supporter to the ride, and that's why I'm doing it. We are reaching out to our communities on Vancouver Island to support us with donations, help us fight prostate cancer, and also remember that the money raised here stays here on the island. I'd like to say thank you again to our big sponsors, including Scotiabank, Times Colonist, Czech News, 100.3 The Q, The Zone, Peninsula Co-op, Slags Lumber, Steve Drain Harley Davidson for participating in this ride. Thank you, and enjoy June 3rd. Be there.
Thank you. By the way, just checking, we will be doing less than 300 kilometers an hour on the ride. Is that right? Okay, good. Just checking here. $2.99. Yes, we're all mad. Mr. Steve Frankel was diagnosed with prostate cancer 2 years ago, and he is going to speak about his personal experience with that disease. He has had a career as an educator, taught school in New York City, U.S. Virgin Islands, here in Victoria as well, and now retired, happily residing on beautiful Thetis Island. Steve Frankel, sir.
So where are all the Vespers? They got lost. Thank you for inviting me to speak, and a huge thanks to the Vancouver Island Motorcycle Ride to Live organization and its members for the commitment to this cause. We are supposed to be, I had to change this, the weather. We are supposed to be in the digital age. So guys, men, think digital. And here's why. Like many of you over the years, I have had discomforts related to the large prostate, that little organ of ours. Many of you have the same experiences, similar to those. You might have read about it in my famous autobiography, Down the Crooked Stream by I.P. Knight. Down the Crooked Stream. Yeah, we get it. How many times did you get up last night to take a whiz or 10 reading Tolstoy's War and Peace until you finish? Okay, no big deal. It's an enlarged prostate. An enlarged prostate does not mean you get cancer. Of course, I had my PSAs done. My lifestyle was and is probably better than most. Very good diet, overall good physical health, physically active, very good for someone in their late 60s. You're supposed to say, gee, you don't look late 60s. Other than a slightly enlarged prostate, there was never any concerns or any worry about me getting cancer, prostate cancer. As a matter of fact, there's no cancers in my family. I know certainly no prostate cancer. So I repeat, think digital. It was just by coincidence, and the added fact of working with a really, really, truly great doctor, that the cancer was found. The good doctor felt something that wasn't quite right during a digital exam. A bump on that little friend of ours. A biopsy ensued, and lo and behold, and to everyone's shock, and I must say, of course, with the trying to get cancer, it's this flood of emotions that goes on, including being embarrassed, which is kind of silly, right? The emotions do start flooding when it's cancer. A biopsy ensued. Of course, it was prostate cancer, but everyone was been stunned by it, including the doctor. As I said, the doctor that I'm working with is a class act. He is knowledgeable, he's understanding, he's approachable, and he's got a great bedside manner. I was going to slip in a joke with that bedside manner, the digital. I was told him, please don't do it. I'll talk to you later. As most of you know, the PSA tests are not a panacea. If you have prostate cancer, it's advisable to have regular tests, regular PSA tests. The particular level and grade of cancer that I had is the kind that they call wait and see. Basically, biopsies every 2 years, regular blood tests. I consider myself one of the very lucky ones, but that's a but with two T's. The crucial exam is the digital. That's the one that's part of my monitor. The doctor could feel any kind of changes, shape and size, anything that might be different during this exam. And it's, again, it is the crucial part. So think digital. And even with prostate cancer, your PSA can show normal. My PSA was never anything but perfect, even during the time that I had cancer. You probably know at least one unenlightened guy who may be in his early 40s or 50s who's absolutely dead set against any digital exams. There are probably deep-seated reasons for that, no pun intended. Maybe they're one of the young bucks who think they're impervious to cancer or death. They probably don't wear a helmet when they're riding, and they probably smoke too. I'm being judgmental. It is our task to convince our resistant, reluctant brothers to drop their drawers and assume the position with their doctors. Remember, cancer, like any disease, with early detection, makes all the difference. As I stated, I was considered to be in the category of men who are not even remotely in the percentage of guys who contract cancers, heart, or any other serious disease. My blood work was always excellent. But take care not to create a mindset that I never get sick. I am in great health, or I don't fit the profile of cancer. Get your checkup. Make sure you have a digital exam. Remember, the majority of prostate cancers do not do you to a short life, being an infant, or curtailing having fun in your life, along with having a sexually active life. Some of that might be important today. It's a scary thing to be told you have cancer, and you have moments of doubt and concern. However, your life in the majority of cases can be just as rewarding as any other guy's. So get digitized. Thank you again, and many thanks to those testosterone Harley guys in the audience for the right to live, and those women who have joined in support. I encourage everyone to support the right to live by going to the website, registering, or making a donation. I'm counting on it, and so are thousands of other BC men. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Good advice. We're glad you're still with us, by the way. We're the Vespas. I ride a Virago, so, you know, when I'm among 300 of these things, I feel like I'm on a Vespa. Is that close enough for you? We're going to raise a ton of money again. What do we do with the money? Well, we do lots of things. And Dr. Fraser Hoff is an assistant professor at the Center for Biomedical Research in the chemistry department here at UVic. And he is going to tell us about some of the prostate cancer research that's going on here at UVic and how the proceeds from the Vancouver Island Motorcycle Ride to Live are being applied to his work. Doctor.
Thanks. So this is my second year doing this, and I just have to say, this is one of the highlights of the year for all you to come out to the university, share a common cause, get excited about the Ride to Live again. It's just an awesome thing to see from my point of view. So I'm here for a bunch of reasons, right? I'm a researcher. I'm a son. You know, my dad's on a high prostate cancer, high PSA count, wait to see. My grandfather died of prostate cancer. My ex-grandfather died of prostate cancer. And this isn't an unusual story. It affects so many people. The numbers are staggering. Everybody knows somebody affected by this disease. So that's kind of where we get started. And I'm not here to tell you about any of the pointy-headed stuff we're actually doing in the lab these days. You know, we're working on you know, the most aggressive forms of prostate cancer, the ones that are resistant to all of the current treatments that are out there right now. We're really here more than anything just to kind of show you a little bit what the face of the research side of things is. We're people who care about the disease, people who care about all of the community that's involved here. We do everything we can to try to help raise awareness along the way. I have a student, Kevin, shivering over there, who's also actually enjoyed support from the Right to Live funds in the last year for his own personal take on this research. That was not a honking support. I thought it might be for a second there. It was exciting. And you know what I really want to drive home is that the money we got from the Ride to Live two years ago, the first little bit of money that we got from that, was just the absolute thin edge of the wedge. I mean, it's absolutely opened so many doors for us. So we are now a lab who works with other labs at the university here, the BC Cancer Agency here, and also at UBC at the Prostate Center, and at a place called the Center for Drug Research and Development in Vancouver. You know, this absolutely started with Right to Live funding. Never would have happened without it, and it has grown now to be really a large part of what we're doing in our lab right now, a huge part of what we're doing in our lab, all because of you, right? All because of the people who got on a bike. I'm scared of Vespas and Viragos, by the way. never mind the Harleys. But I rode my mountain bike to work today. Thank you. So it's all because of you, and so I'm always happy to give tours of my lab. It just so happens that you're all standing here in the rain right now, and my lab is in this building and it's dry. So if you're available now at the end of this event, I'm more than happy to give you a walk through the lab. I had a few of you through last year. It's a fantastic opportunity for us to connect back with you, to share what we're doing at the university. So I'll just leave it there. I'll leave it short. Give you an opportunity to hear about our research another time in some detail. If you're a member of the Prostate Cancer Support Group, Kevin and I are actually going to be there next Tuesday night for the monthly meeting to do a presentation on our research. So I invite you to that. You can hear the pointy-headed side of things. But for now, I just want to say that when everything wraps up here, any and all of you are welcome to come on up and see the lab and meet some people and see what it's like up there inside the building where it's dry. Thanks.
Thank you, Doctor. Heather Gardner is the interim executive director at the Prostate Center, and Heather is going to tell us about some of the collaborative efforts between the Ride to Live and the center, and how they advance cancer research. Heather.
Dr. Hoff's message right now was astounding. For him to say as a researcher that it would not be possible to do what he's doing without you guys on the front end raising funds and awareness is something that is really extraordinary. Very, very few times can you say that this equals this. Often it'll go into a big pot where we don't really know what it's going to do and how it's going to impact people here in Vancouver Island and where we live. But this touched my heart to see that you guys are making this possible, and not only for Dr. Hoff, but for Kevin as well. His research is being supported through the efforts of the Right to Live group. At the Prostate Center in Victoria, our job is to share awareness about this disease and help educate not only our men, but our women. And I ask the women because when I accepted this job, I was thinking how odd it would be for a woman to be leading this organization. And I had to wrap my head around that a little bit. And maybe some of you have to do that as well. But where I came to was that we, the women, love you, the men. And together, we love you. Together, we can really do some damage on this. We can move prostate cancer from the back row to the front row in our discussion and onto the porch. We need to move this ahead in discussions. We have to bring it out of the closet and talk more about this. And so what we're going to be asking Victorians and Vancouver Islanders to do is to think about everybody you love. Your mother, your daughter, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your partner. Think about them and think about the quality of life that you have with them and why they're so important to you. Get real clear in that message, because that will make you act. Because I don't think any of us want to leave behind our loved ones. And we don't have to. If we get at this early, and we can get the numbers known and get men checking starting at 40, we can make a huge difference in how many grave sites we're sitting beside. And that's the last place I think we want to be. So our message at the Prostate Cancer Center is about thinking about your loved one and taking action. Two simple messages. And we're going to be promoting that everywhere we go, and hopefully in more and more centers, more and more, in front of more and more groups to share the message. And I know that you guys do it in such a powerful way through this Ride to Live. The publicity and just the roar of the bikes through the street commands attention. And without you guys, literally, we would be years behind in our research and years behind in our ability to promote and educate the public. So this is the most high-functioning committee I've ever seen in action, by the way. And I've had the pleasure of working with a lot of committees, but I was at their meeting last week, and I was just floored at how anxious and how enthusiastic you are. So my thanks to all of your passionate effort, and I can't wait for the ride. It'll be great. Thank you.
Thanks, Heather. All right, so once again, we want to thank you all for being involved. I want to thank Luke and everyone at the Prostate Center and the ride organizers for allowing me to be involved again. If you are a rider and you're contributing, thank you very much. If you know a rider who doesn't know about the ride and should, by all means, get in touch with them. And we'll see if we can pony up as much cash as possible for the cause this year. So we'll see you at Steve Drain Harley-Davidson on June 3rd, and everything you need to know about the ride, including registration, donations, whatever, is on the website. That's viridetolive.ca. Thanks once again for being here in our lovely weather, and have a great afternoon. Ride carefully.
If he emails you the video, can you give it to Landon, or do you have Landon's email? Oh yeah, it's right across from Mr. Town. That bank there, so then that way Landon can. I think at least it's.
You're right.
Can't feel my ovaries.
What?
That's the problem. Oh, did you hear my wife and I?
As a matter of fact, I did.
Yeah, that works.